Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 10 of my 15 days of beauty. This is where I'm uploading a video every single day for 15 days straight here in the month of December. And because this entire series, I've been sharing some of my favorites, some of my least favorites for the year of 2022. On day 8, I uploaded a video doing a full face of last year's favorites. So I thought it would be fun to do a full face of last year's worst products. So I went through my video and kind of pulled out some of the products that I discussed in that video. So we're going to do a full face of my least favorite products of 2021. I think it's always interesting to try out products again and see if your opinion changes on them. So that's what we're doing in today's video. It's a full face of the worst products that I tried and tested out of 2021. So without further ado, let's just jump into the video. So we're gonna go ahead and start with foundation. Last year, there were several foundations that I didn't like. I kind of went through them and I decided that maybe I would try the Westman Atelier stick foundations. And I think I'm gonna apply it the way that I have been doing skin tints recently. So I have been wearing a lot more kind of skin tint, more lighter coverage, but using concealer for the coverage and then going over top and kind of evening out the complexion. So I'm gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury concealer, the Beautiful Skin Concealer in shade 9. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of coverage. It's not like I use a lot of it. It just helps to give me some coverage, right? Kind of start the process off. So I just do a thin layer. And I like the Beautiful Skin Concealer because it's really creamy and it blends out really easily. Now we're gonna move on to the Westman Atelier. So I have two shades here. So this is shade 9 and this is shade 10. Shade 10 seems really golden. Shade 9 seems like it might blend in a little bit better. Shade 10's too golden. Okay, so we're gonna use shade 9. I think I'm just gonna kind of just go in a little bit. It's not as creamy as you're thinking it's going to be. I still see reasons why I don't like it, but I'm still trying to kind of work with it. I actually think I prefer grabbing it here on the brush than putting the stripes on the face because of that. I feel like it just has a hard time blending and like moving it around on the skin. And I don't have any primer on. I just have my skincare that I applied like 2 hours ago. So it's not like I have anything underneath it to help it kind of move. I mean, I think the whole purpose for a product like this is to make it really simple and kind of easy. I don't want to get it too thick in certain areas because it's been my experience with this is that as the day progresses and your oils start to come through, this will literally separate and pull away from the skin and it gets like patchy in certain areas. But we're gonna go with it. I think I've got it pretty well even. And I'm gonna go off camera and do my brows and put some product here on my eyelids to kind of even out that. And then we'll jump into the eyeshadow. Finished my brows. We're gonna move on to eyeshadow. And yes, the Tom Ford Naked Pink is to date one of the worst palettes I think I've ever bought in my life. And it's pointless for me to even try to use that again because I know I'm gonna hate it. The two that I do have here is this mess and this hot mess. Yeah, this is the Gucci palette. So I thought maybe I would try it. I don't know. And then I have the Insolent Rose, which I don't like this palette either. This shimmer is really pretty. It is, but this is bad. And then this, I still don't get it. I'm so aggravated with this palette. I don't know. I'm trying to decide which one I should use. I mean, I guess maybe I could use both of them. I just don't know. Like, this is a very expensive palette for what it is. So we're just gonna go with both. I'm just gonna play with both and see where I end up. I'm gonna first go into the Gucci palette. I'm gonna grab this shade right here. It's so powdery too. I forgot how powdery this palette is. It's super powdery. It's so sad because they have such gorgeous bronzers and I'm recently obsessed with the blushes. Like, they just missed the mark. So I'm gonna grab the Tom Ford palette and I'm gonna go into this pink shade and I'm gonna put it over top. I'm thinking I might go in with this shade right here and then maybe put this sparkling shade over top of it. I think that might be pretty. So I'm gonna grab this shade first. Is that even picking anything up? Oh yeah, it is. I was like, wait a minute. It sure didn't look like it was, but okay. It's a soft shimmer. I don't mind it. It's quite powdery, so you do get some fallout with it, but it's not bad, just not my favorite. I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of this sparkly shade right here, and I'm gonna put it like right here. This was about the only shade in this Insolent Rose palette that I liked. It's not something that's unique in any way. Like, we have these in a lot of our palettes, you know, it's just more of like a topper shade. So I don't really feel like it's unique, but it does look pretty over top of that purple from the Gucci. It does. Okay, can't decide which purple. I want to kind of deepen the outer corner a little bit. And I can't decide whether I want to use this, which I don't like this shade at all. It's super powdery and it's not pretty at all. Bad shade. Or this purple right here in this palette. Okay, so that's the one from the Gucci palette and that's the one from the Tom Ford. I probably will have to use this one from Tom Ford, huh? I don't know. Maybe we'll use both. Maybe I'll use both. Okay, so I think I will grab this shade first, just to bring it like right out here on this outer corner. And then I'm gonna wipe so that I can kind of clean up, and then I think I'll deepen up the outer corner. I cannot get this eyeshadow to blend to save my life. It's kind of driving me nuts. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of this shade first, and maybe I'll deepen it up with the other shade. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to figure this out. So I'm gonna go into that dark purple in the Tom Ford palette. Before I put any eyeshadow on the lower lash line, I need to put on some concealer. So the concealer that I did not like last year and still do not like is the Shade and Illuminate concealer from Tom Ford. This is a very expensive concealer and there was multiple reasons why I didn't like it. Number one, lays on top of the skin. It never sinks down into the skin and kind of like blends into the skin, kind of melts into the skin. It's got so much like essential oils or something in it where it just lays on top of the skin. So I don't love that. And it exaggerates my wrinkles because it's almost like it's too hydrating. And there's that border where a concealer can be too hydrating, and that has been my experience with this. So I have it in two shades. So the first shade that I bought was the 4W1 Sand. This was a little bit close to my skin tone. So I grabbed 2WO Beige. This is the number 4, the 4WO or whatever it is. This is more like my skin tone. And then the 2 Beige is a little bit too light, but I think I can make the 2 Beige work. So this is the 2 and this is a 4. It's like a huge jump between the two of them, right? I'm gonna try the 2. One thing I don't like about this too is a lot of product comes off onto the applicator. So I have to really wipe this one off. Like this suction thing down inside doesn't take off enough of this. So I need to wipe off as much as I can. And I'm just gonna put like a little bit here. I'm just gonna blend this in. It does smell a lot like the foundation, the Shade and Illuminate foundation. I don't really feel like it's all that flattering. Like it exaggerates all of these wrinkles right here. I mean, So I'm going to move in close. I'm going to kind of, okay. So I'm going to move in close. Look at that. See all of that? Like right here? That is what I do not like about this concealer. It is literally heavy, especially like right here. Let me turn off the ring light. See how, oh, you can see it. See that? All of those wrinkles just highlighted. Look at that. It is not a very flattering concealer. And my opinion has not changed. It exaggerates all of those wrinkles. It's wild to me because a lot of the people that I personally know that really like this are over 40. So it's really weird to me, but it is just not a flattering concealer. It just lays so heavy in those wrinkles. Not pretty at all whatsoever. Oh my gosh, I do not like this concealer. I'm gonna leave it there because I can't go any farther than that. But the foundation looks so bad up on my hairline. Oh. Doing a full face of products that you don't love. I don't know why I ever come up with this idea. I'm questioning all of my decisions. Okay, so I'm going to go into this shade from the Gucci palette, and I'm going to sweep that into the lash line. Maybe a little bit of this right here, this purple color, just to kind of take down some of the maroon color to kind of give it, match the outer corner on the, I don't know what I'm doing, you guys, but I'm going to kind of try to buff out this line a little bit. Gosh, that concealer is bad. I hate how, like, especially when I smile, look at all those lines right there. Look at that. I know I'm smiling ridiculous, but look, it settles into every single line and exaggerates it. Not a fan at all. Not a fan. It just is not flattering. So I'm going to deepen up the outer corner a little bit. I'm going to go into that shade in the Gucci palette first. And I'm going to try to deepen this up. That's the other problem with this palette, is that it doesn't really have flattering shades that are deeper in tone. Yeah, not a fan. Oh my gosh. Why did I come up with this idea? I'm still trying to figure this out. Like, why the hell did I decide to do this video? Shades are just really powdery and they kind of dust away as you apply them. So I'm going to leave it there, you guys, because I have fixed that and messed with it too many times to count, and I'm over it. And I move on to mascara. And speaking of mascara, this Tom Ford mascara is not my favorite product. So this is the Extreme Mascara. And there's a few reasons why I don't like it. It dries super fast and it kind of makes your lashes kind of crusty. So I'm going to put a little bit here on the tips of my lashes. I'm wearing Lashify. Let me know if any of you guys have used this mascara and what you think about it. I'm so curious to hear if you guys have the same experience or do you love it? I'm so curious. It actually doesn't look too bad on the lower lashes. I don't actually mind the way that it looks because it's not too much mascara. So I don't know that my feelings have fully changed because obviously I didn't put it on the upper lashes. And it's, you know, it's a little bit different when it comes to mascara, building it and layering it right on the upper lashes and seeing how it spreads and seeing the volume and all of that. You don't really get that experience just by putting on the tips of false lashes and also a little bit on the lower lash line. So I can't say for sure if my opinion has changed on it, but I do like the way it looks on my lower lashes. Before we move on to my face, I want to talk about this product. This is from Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is the Bitten Lip Tint. And I had two of them and did not like them. Well, recently, I would say maybe 2 or 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago, I can't remember, they launched more shades. They sent me like 2 or 3 lip tints. So I have 5 of them now. This one, which the name of it is gone, the sticker is gone. It's been in my purse. So the 2 new shades are, I don't know if it's Poupette, I don't know. The other shade is, I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce these words. So I'm just going to put them up here on the screen so you guys can see them because I don't even know. I'm not even going to try. So they sent those 2 shades to me. The 3 shades that I bought, I did not like, but they sent me the 2 new shades and I really like this one. This is that Poupette or whatever it's called. And I've been using it on my lips. I'm almost out of it, to be honest with you. So it kind of just is a base. And that's what I like about it. It kind of tints the lips just a little bit. So I go in like this and it's so close to my natural tone. The other thing that I like about it is you'll notice that my lip is, I have a strong lip line, if you can see that. That is my natural lip line. And I've always had that. Even before I had a little bit of filler, I've always had that strong lip line. So putting this on kind of helps to give a little bit of color to my lip. I put it on and then I kind of let it dry and I put a second coat on and it kind of becomes a little bit of a base. Now, I still don't like the others. I've tried the other shades. I don't like them. This is the only shade that I like. The other shades, especially the dark shades, they stain all like different colors. So especially if you have any dry spots on your lip, the darker tones will like literally attach to that and it's not flattering on the lips. So all of the other 4 shades I still don't like, but I do like this new one. We're gonna start with this. This is from Patrick Ta Beauty. This was not my favorite. And I figured I'd pull it out again, try it, maybe do it a different way. I have different tools now that I didn't have, you know, when I got it. This one is in the shade She Sculpted. I'm going to use the contour brush from Patrick Ta, and I am going to kind of sculpt. I really like this brush, by the way. Okay, that looks that's not bad. So I'm going to grab the BK Beauty 107. This is the travel size. And I'm going to go into the bronzer. Oh, I'm already seeing, okay, so here's the problem. So see how it's getting a little bit patchy? And that's from going over top of that cream contour with the bronzer. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but I've got a few little dark patches there where it looks a little bit, and that could just be me kind of messing it up at the end of the day. And it could be that I just don't know how to use the product, right? Like, I'm just not good at it, and that could be it. I don't know, but it's still not my personal favorite. Let's move on to blush. This right here. So this is the Air Matte Blushes from NARS. It's a cream formula. These are bad, 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 bad. It's too moussey. And it doesn't apply evenly. And that's what I don't like about it. So not only do I have to take my finger down in there and put it here on the back of my hand, because it's so crumbly. So you can see just how kind of thick and like moussey, the texture of it is weird. But the packaging is small, so you really can't get a brush down in there. It doesn't really make sense to pick it up that way. So the way you have to do it is put it here on the back of your hand and kind of blend it out like this. I'm just going to dip my brush into the back of my hand. Let's see here. I don't like how crumbly it is. It just applies really uneven. Plus it makes a mess. But you see how patchy that is? Like, that's the problem with it, is that like this side looks a little bit better, like it applied a little bit more even, but this side, I mean, looking straight ahead, I can see some patchy spots right here, like right there, right there. So here's the thing, let me show you. So I put it here on the back of my hand, a chunk of it, right? Blend it out, okay, so it's smooth. But when you go to pick it up with a brush, okay, so this is what it looks like before. When you go to pick it up with a brush, it's now inside the bristles uneven. So like a few bristles pick up more of the product than others. And so then when you go to apply it, you run the risk of it applying unevenly. That is my biggest complaint with these. They're just not very predictable, right? Like you just never know what you're gonna get when your brush picks it up. And I've used a synthetic brush. The synthetic brush is even worse. So it's been my experience that the synthetic brush will really pick up the product and it will really look bad. So yeah, not my favorite. But I do have this powder that is not my favorite. So this is like limited edition packaging, but this is the Perfect Blur powder from Chantecaille, and a lot of people really love this. And I just haven't loved it. There's things that I don't like about it. It's almost like it's a little bit too matte, but I'm gonna try it. And I'm gonna just set my face and like set the perimeter and stuff. I mean, at this point, I really can't mess it up. So I'm gonna first go into the powder and put a little bit here on the center of my face, just to kind of calm down some of the shine. See how it works over top of that concealer. I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to say whether your opinion's going to change about a powder, putting it over top of something that you don't like. How you're going to know that you don't like a powder is putting it over top of putting it over a foundation or a concealer that you love, right? Like that's like the best way to determine. And it does give a little bit of a shine to the skin, like a little bit of like an iridescence, but that blush is so bad, you guys. Look how bad my blush looks. Oh my gosh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to film other videos with this makeup. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this powder on my fluffy brush and just kind of go over top of everything just to kind of set my makeup. So we're gonna move on to highlighter, and I'm gonna pull this out. This like weird science experiment. I don't know what it is. It's from Huda Beauty. That's the Rose Quartz highlighter. Okay, so it's been a year since I've had it, and it's like gross already. Yeah, this is just a weird product. But look, like it hardly has anything to it. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of it, rub it on the back of my hand, kind of warm it up, and tap it over top. I mean, I really can't mess up, but you can't even see it. So let me dig into it a little bit more. And I mean, look at that. Like you can't even see it. It's like, what's the point other than just making the side of your face a greasy mess or a slippy mess? I don't know, but like, I think it's super gimmicky. Don't you guys feel like this is gimmicky? Is it just me? And don't get me wrong, I mean, it was kind of genius as far as marketing because everybody was talking about it and wondering what the hell it was, right? So on her part, it was smart, but I think it's super gimmicky. As far as the lip goes, so you can still see that my lip has a little bit of that tint, which I do like that. I don't really have a lip product besides the ones from Charlotte Tilbury. These ones right here that completely don't stay put. Like they are like they slip and slide through the thing, and oh, this is just a bad packaging, bad design, bad all the way around. Funny thing about this entire thing is I emailed them and said, hey, the set I have are not like stuck together and the packaging comes wonky, da da da. And they sent me a replacement, and the replacements do the exact same thing. And I was like, it's probably time to admit that there was a bad packaging design. Maybe. Shoot, but I don't think any of these colors, ooh, that color might go with it. This is Spice Blossom. See, look, like as it turns and twists, like you try to twist it up and it just twists inside of itself. See that? So freaking annoying. Let me see if I can put this on to kind of, I don't think that's gonna work. I should have just asked for a refund, huh? So I'm just going to hold it and put it on like this because I can't, it won't screw up to the point where I can put it on. It's a nice formula. It's a nice like matte, but yeah. I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so this is the final look, you guys. I'm kind of giving up at this point. I'm kind of giving up. The lippy definitely doesn't match the eye look, but it kind of is what it is, right? So I'm just going to briefly go through them. So first, let's talk about this. I still don't like it. I mean, when I went off camera and answered a phone call and stuff and came back on, like this foundation gets worse and worse as the hours progress, and it's just not flattering on the skin, and it's very expensive for what it is. I just don't like it. I still don't like it, and my opinion has definitely not changed on this foundation. The concealer, oh, it's like I'm reminded of everything that I don't like about it, right? So as I was putting it on, I was kind of hoping for the best, but as I blended that out, I mean, you guys have seen, I have pointed out all the reasons why I don't like this concealer, and I still don't. Still do not like that concealer. Now, my opinion has not changed on these two palettes. I don't like the eyeshadows in this Gucci palette. It's not that the shades are bad, it's just the texture. They're too powdery. It's way overpriced for what it is, and I still don't like that palette. My opinion has definitely not changed. And this, yeah, no, This is a bad Tom Ford palette. It's a bad Tom Ford palette. The Desert Fox was the same experience. I don't think it's worth $90. In fact, I don't think this palette is worth $1 over 20. Isn't that bad? Like, it's just not a good palette. It's not a good quad from him. I still don't recommend it. No way. Now, as far as the bronzer and contour go, I have more cream contours in my collection that I like better than this. So I think this is still a pass for me, because it's not really a very forgiving formula as far as building it. So when you put the cream on and you blend it out, and then you go to put the powder bronzer on, as you're continuing to put the powder bronzer over top, and because it's a little bit more emollient based, going over top of it with the bronzer, for some reason, these two combos together, oftentimes it can get muddy. So it's like you can't really build it very well. And I still don't like this. I still don't recommend this. The blush, I think we can all agree. I hate this blush. I mean, do I really need to go into why? I hate this blush. Still hate it. It's bad. It's a bad, 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 bad blush. Don't get it. The highlighter, I mean, yeah, it's corny and dumb, but yeah, no, the highlighter's bad too. The Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, it's not that the formula is bad, because it is long wearing, it's the packaging that makes these bad. So I don't recommend those. Still, they're bad. I don't know if you can still get them, but this is probably the only thing that I've changed my opinion on. My battery died on me. Where was I? Okay, so this. My opinion really hasn't changed on the other shades that I used that I discussed in last year's video. It's just I really do like this shade. I like to wear it as a base, especially like if I'm gonna go shopping for the day, you know, like running a bunch of errands and stuff. I like using this as a base so that I can just throw something on real quick as I'm going in and out, and I have that on as whatever I've thrown on wears down, you know what I mean? So I do really like this shade, but the others, like I said, especially the dark shades, just be super careful with those, because it's not really that flattering when it seeps down into all of the fine lines on the lip and it's darker in those areas. It's just not a very flattering lip tint. So I still don't like those others and I don't recommend them, but this one I do. I do like the shade of this. So that's it, you guys. That's a full face of last year's worst products, and I am over this. Like, I'm over it. I would be very happy if I never used any of the products I used in today's video ever again, because they were just bad and they're on that list for a reason. So that's it for the video. Sound off down below how many of you guys have tried any of the products that I discussed in today's video, and was your experience different than mine? Like, do you guys love the Tom Ford concealer or the foundation from Westman Atelier or any of the products? I'm so curious. As I've always said, your guys' input is just as important as anyone else's that comes on behind a camera to share their experience. And makeup is subjective, and we all need something different from our makeup. So I like hearing other people's opinion, especially when it differs from mine, because it just kind of opens the dialogue to have everybody in the comment section hear everyone's experience with it. So definitely sound off down below if there was any of the products that I used in today's video that you actually really like, or maybe you don't. You know, you could be in the same boat as I am. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in today's video. Don't forget to come right back here tomorrow for day 11 of 15 Days of Beauty. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in tomorrow's video. Love you. Bye.